I recently spoke to Russian footballing expert Alan Moore. In that conversation, we spoke about Russian football, the league, the national team, transfer rumours, and in this little snippet today, I'm going to show you what we spoke about when we spoke about transfer rumours. I'm also doing a little bit of digging on saying that kind of tickle my fancy, and there could be something for you fans out there. But what club could it be joining? Wait and see. Watch this space. Now let's see what Alan had to say. Are there any big transfer rumours going around? Like any of the Russian players going to Europe or coming to England, or any rumours over there that you're hearing?
Yeah, there was one where, I mentioned with the Moranchuks, the boys from Lokomotiv. So they're basically talking with was Alexei. Both of them are linked with teams outside, and with Barcelona. But I mean, it's not going to happen. It's just the usual kind of paper talk that we have here. Artem Dzyuba, his contract is up whenever the season ends. The season starts again this weekend. Actually starts tomorrow. Come to think of it. So basically, he I just forgot it. He's been looking to move. So there's a chance that he's going to be he will not renew his contract in Zenit this year and will move. Now Dzyuba, there was a couple of teams. He won't go to Holland or Belgium. It looks like Germany or maybe Italy he'll go there. There was a couple of scouts coming in to look at him for Eintracht Frankfurt because they were saying that this guy could be, he could be substantially worthwhile if they bring him in because he's a very, very good player. Possibly, he's a huge, big target man, puts himself about, but the best thing about him is he has a lovely touch on the ball. He's got a very, he can score goals with his head and his feet and with both feet. And he's a leader as well. So the story went that before the World Cup, and this is the true story. Well, I mean, it is a true story. I mean, it came out after the World Cup, really, but we were kind of commenting on it during it. He asked Cherchesov to leave the dressing room because Russia were remember they were losing games and they were playing terrible. And Cherchesov came in and started shouting, and he just said, "Please, stand up, please leave." So he kicked out the coach, got the players and said, "Listen, we're playing our brand of football now." So he started talking, Cheryshev, you do this. Yeah, and he took control and he basically took over coaching the team. And Russia had a great run. And that's, he scored the goal against Spain to knock Spain. And he's not a penalty taker, but everyone was looking around to see who's going to take the penalty. I was commentating on the match and I was going, oh no, not Dzyuba. And my co-commentator was like, Alan, your mic is on. I was like, I know, but this is yeah, I said, this is not going to end well. He just walked up and planted, and so Eintracht Frankfurt are talking about trying to pick him up because he's, he's a player he'll bag you 10 to 15 goals a season. I always wanted to see him. I always was loving to see him go to England because
he's a bit of a bully, isn't he?
He is, and he's top of the league here with 13 goals this season. And Russia is not a league where you score a lot of goals. He's playing with a good team, but he scores goals for crap teams as well. So he can be a bit temperamental. He can be up and down. He says stupid things sometimes, as in he will comment on he'll say what was the recent one this year that actually cost him a lot of money, where he started commenting on political things, and he basically started insulting people in the post-match interview. People were kind of let's say the Russian FA didn't appreciate it, but this is his way of doing it. This is his mentality.
A maverick.
He is, and sometimes you kind of just want to shut his mouth because he does, but he's a lovely fella. He's one of the guys who will always fight for players' rights. He goes out when the lockdown was on here. He was delivering gifts, or gifts of food. So he was moving here, moving there. This is his mentality. He does these things. He doesn't. He backs up what he's saying. Now, another player who is always looking to move is Fyodor Chalov. Now, you've probably heard of him. He's been linked with a number of teams. The paper talk here is that teams in England are looking at him. They never really specify it, but we do know that teams in Germany have come in and asked questions about can they buy him. Now, Chalov is from Moscow. He is a product of CSKA. Striker, he's 21, or he's just gone 20. He's 21, just gone 22. He's very, very young. Tall lad, about 6 foot tall, good goal scorer. Can be a bit. He's gone off the boil very badly this season in Russia, because he'd been proposed a move in the off season on loan to PSG.
Okay.
So they said that they want to take him there and a loan with a view to buy him.
Yeah.
The club blocked it over money. A second bid came in it would have been in the middle of August last year, to try and get him to a sort of an unnamed team in Italy. Now, most people were figuring that it was possibly AC Milan, but it probably didn't make sense that he was going there. And suddenly we saw that when those were knocked, batted away, his production dropped. He started to kind of be a passenger in games. The one, as I mentioned, the cup, the cup quarterfinal actually with CSKA and Spartak, he was terrible. He was he didn't want to be on the pitch.
Yeah.
He went from knocking in 15 goals last season back down to, I think he's only scored 2 or 3 goals this season in all competitions, and he just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And the rumor mill has started again. They spoke about it last night on Match TV, which is our main sports channel here. They spoke on Match TV that there are bids. There have been talks with selling him this summer. The price is going to be between 10 and 12 million euros. But this could be a big move. It'd be a great move for him because he won't go any higher here. He's frustrated.
Yeah.
CSKA won't sell him to another team in Russia because he's too good. If he goes to Zenit, he's going to be exactly. He's going to kill them. They're not going to send him to Spartak because there'll be a riot. So they're going to get him outside. What can you do outside? Where can he go outside? This is a Russian international. He's played the whole way up. He was the top league scorer last year in Russia, 2018-19. Yeah, I keep mixing up the seasons at this stage. 2018-19, he was the top scorer here in Russia. Lovely young talent. So if he goes to England, I wouldn't be surprised. And if he goes to a decent club, they'll have to figure out the visa some way. With Brexit, who knows what's going to happen. So I think this could be a huge one. Fyodor Chalov, if you keep an eye on him, he'll move this summer.
I'm definitely. We are the transfer exchange, so I'll be looking out for this transfer, courtesy of Alan. Oh, thank you very much for that. All right. Hopefully that's an exclusive. Hopefully, if it comes about, I'm going to pull out this video, chop this up, and just be like, "We've got an exclusive from Russian expert Alan Moore."
It should be because I'll tell you something. There's all of that team. Chalov is brilliant, and no one has been. They've been talking about him, but there's been nothing concrete coming in. They've been talking where he might go and what go, but there is money being offered for him now in the range of 10, 11 million is what the asking price is right now, because he wants to get out. There's a couple of his teammates. There's a young lad, a defender. Now he's terrific. He's huge. He's a player. I think I actually mentioned when we're prepping for this. I mentioned to Steve that Divyev.
Yeah, he was linked to Arsenal. And he was
Yes,
like in a summer tournament, in a youth tournament, and they spotted him, and I think they wanted to give him a trial or something like that.
that's it. This guy has, I've seen him playing with Ufa. Like he's from Ufa in Bashkortostan, out on the Volga, kind of next door to Tatarstan. Bashkortostan, the people there are called Bashkiri, so they're an ethnic group. Now he is of that. He's Bashkiri, but I think his dad is Russian, his mom is Bashkiri. Moved up, came up on loan to CSKA, then moved up. He's only, I think he's still 20 or 20.
Yeah.
Huge big lad. Is filling out nicely. He has the frame to put on weight, so he can fill out gradually. So he's very, very injury free. Lovely defender, likes to get forward, puts himself about the place. He needs a good, steady, partner in the centre of defence.
Experienced.
Yeah, who can kind of guide him, because he does kind of tend to lose the run himself. He'll start to follow the ball because he loves playing with he loves attacking the ball. He loves getting on the ball. He's very cover for a big lad. He's been touted around the place, but it would take a fair bit of money to move him. Probably more than as much as Fyodor Chalov. For a defender, it's quite a bit. But definitely, I'd say if any club are looking to sort of grab a real talent, that's going to be with you. You could sign him up for 3-4 years and sell him on for double the price. It's Diviev. He's a very good player, Kieran. Trust me, he's one of these players that when you watch him, you kind of start watching him, you see his movement. It's very, very good. Again, as I said, he has his little flaws, but they're nothing destructive. There's something that they can be worked on and to ironed out. And again, he's getting playing time when he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be in the centre of defence. He shouldn't be even. He should be getting a 10-minute, 15-minute run at the end of a game, not playing 90 minutes. And he's very injury free. So he's a good, big, fit lad who can pull himself about and protect himself. So he'd be a godsend. And I mean, I'm looking at Arsenal last night, for example. If they had him instead of a certain Brazilian, and they had like Sardar up front, they would be stopping goals and scoring goals. They're ready-made.
So would Sardar possibly be more of like a number 10, just sit a little bit deeper, maybe like the Bobby Firmino position that they're doing at Liverpool as the three up front, just behind him, would he sit as a Mesut Ozil kind of player?
He would. Well, he'd put in an effort, not like Mesut Ozil. Mesut's fine. Yeah, and I don't like to knock him, but like a friend of mine who was the sports director with Lokomotiv Moscow knew Mesut from growing up, from Schalke, Eric Stoffel's house. And Eric was like, Mesut's a nice lad, but wouldn't work to warm himself. Like he'd rather sit cold than actually do something, but has immense talent. But
never heard that. It's rather sit cold than move himself. Brilliant.
So it's like said, like it is an Irish thing to say. He wouldn't work to warm himself, and it's true. He's a terrific player, as we know, when he wants to be. But Sardar would, like, if you put him, like, he's not going to score goal right now. I couldn't see him hand on heart. I couldn't see him scoring goals like Bobby Firmino, but he could. He's a much more dangerous player. He would get behind a defender. He would, on the run, he'd take the ball on his thigh, on his right thigh, and flick it with his left to Lacazette to knock in. That's the kind of player he is. He's a very gifted player, very, very gifted player. So, if Arsenal fans were like, who should we get in the summer? Who should we, not to spend money, because we heard now this talk about we need to spend money, like
not right characters.
Yeah, he's the guy who would just work. He's not Russian. He's not Iranian. He is, and Iranian players are tough. They're like I saw them when Ali Day when they're playing in the German league. I saw what they could do. They were just hard workers. He's Turkmen, which means that he's very humble.
Yeah.
He's very, very open.
Yeah.
But also he wants to always give back. So he's the kind of player that, like, during the week, he'll go visit school, visit a hospital. He'll coach a kids team, and then go out and just die for the club on a Saturday. And he's not kissing the badge. He's not like, I'm kissing the badge this week. If the team, if they say this is what you do, you go, this is your system. Go play. Go get, go make something happen. He'll do it. He's just a very he's a unique talent that he's done it all in Russia. He needs to get out, and the sooner the better.
It kind of rings true for the kind of transfers and the players that Arteta's been going for, because I've been doing a lot of research on who's going for who, and one of the things that Arteta said is Arsenal lack creativity. They've just recently gone out and bought a player in called George Lewis who I've watched him a little bit. Very tricky player, very raw, but very tricky. And this Sanders seems like the same kind of thing, but more of a polished version of it. So it seems like if this transfer was to happen, it would, or these rumours ring true for what they're coming out as. And I'm hoping this isn't, from what you've sold to me right now, I'm hoping it's not just one of them paper talks over there that's then sort of followed through over here.
No. I as I said, Kieran, I've seen him since he was a teenager in the third division. I've seen him grow up when he's been at Rubin reserve team, Rubin first team, Rostov, now Zenit. All the stuff when it happened when there was a battle between who owned them, Rostov or Rubin, because it was like basically Rostov. They did. It was like a real mess with his head. I saw the crap he took from Iranian fans, and it was very unfair. It was very hurtful for him to have to endure it. He took it. He took time off and went back. But he's a kind of player that, he's a tough character. He's a humble guy. He's a hard worker. He's a stadium. And, if you look at it, Zenit are going to part of him for cheap. They're not going to sell him for a pittance. Like, they've had Axel Witsel, they've had Hulk, so they know what it's to invest and get players back. He's not at that kind of like global level. I mean, like Hulk was, a great player here in Russia. Axel Witsel, terrific player in Russia. He's not at that superstar level, global level. But Arsenal get him, and in 3 years, this is a bad thing looking ahead. They can flop him because he'll be coming into his prime, but he'll already have made Arsenal a really hateful team to try and play, a dangerous team to play, because he's going to be a thorn in other teams' sides. He's going to be able to do it week in, week out, because he's fit and strong. He looks after himself, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's a clever guy. He gets after himself, not flash Harry. He's a good guy. He can then be sold on and get the money back for him. So in terms of the Arsenal business model, that's what you want. You want a guy who's, and you're getting him in for not a huge amount of money as well. So he's going to come in, make money for Arsenal, get them up around the Champions League spots again, challenging for second, third place, getting ahead of United, which is like important to do, keep them back, and then, sell them on in 3 years.
Yeah. I'm hoping this one comes through, because I didn't know much about him before. I looked at the standard usual highlights that you see, but I'm fully sold on this story, which is, it started at the start, and then we went somewhere else, and then we pulled him back in. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sardar, I'm your fan.
And listen, one thing is with Sardar as well, he here for the World Cup in 2018, he was one of the foreign players we did a video together, and he was talking about, this is Russia. This is what Russia is to me. He said, it's not this place where you should be afraid to come to. It's not where you should be. He said, this is what Russia is. So he's an ambassador, and he did it not because, just because he did it for free. He gave his time for free.
Yeah.
So it was me, there was him, there was Vedran Chorluka, he's captain of Lokomotiv. Good God. I mean, there was a whole, I think it was Maciej Ribas, who was the Polish winger, Sardar Azmoun. All these guys who were like top talent, like, top players in Russia, like household names, were like, this is, and they were talking realistically, what's the problem with Russia, what's good with Russia. This is what he is. So he's not a kind of a paid and bought for a Polish merchant. He's just like, this is what I do. This is where I like to go walk the dog. This is what I like to, just a kind of a plain ordinary guy. So yeah, I if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be excited about getting him in.
Yeah.
I'd want to get Duveve in as well, because that way you've got a long-term project who is very good in defence, and you've got an immediate ready-to-play player. I wouldn't throw Duveve straight into an Arsenal first team right away. I'd season him and then bring him in a year or two. But Sardar Azmoun, yeah, definitely, he's a player who will make Arsenal score goals again.
Boom. Well, that's what we need. 100%. That is what Arsenal need.